Jared Miguez and I were excited to be able to participate in the St. Tammany Chamber Expo. It's a fabulous place to see all the amazing businesses that we have in the St. Tammany community that help make us so great. And in this on-site podcast episodes, we were able to spend a little bit of time with some of those entrepreneurs and those people that are dedicated to supporting our community. So check it out. I hope you enjoy it.
All right, guys, we're live at the St. Tammany Parish Chamber Expo, and I got two guys here with Insperity. They're going to tell a little bit about who they are. So just your name real quick and then what y'all do.
Sure, my name is Richard Paden.
Brad Wagner.
Okay.
We work for a company called Insperity. Insperity is a Fortune 500 company based in a third world country called Houston.
Yeah.
We have 110 offices nationwide.
Yeah.
We believe strongly in having a local presence but having a national footprint.
Nice.
And what we do is it's called a Certified Professional Employer Organization.
PEO.
PEO.
I've heard that a million times. I'm so glad you told me what a PEO is.
Perfect. So that's what we do.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of competitors in this market.
Yeah.
The difference between a certified PEO and a non-PEO, and I'm really bad with analogies, so I apologize for this, is sort of thinking about two banks, right? So one bank has FDIC insurance, and one bank does not have FDIC insurance.
Gotcha.
Okay, so when I say certified, we're certified by the Internal Revenue Service.
Gotcha.
We have to have the people, the processes, the procedures, and the capital in place to get that certification, and we have to put up a bond so that if anything were to happen to our business, our customers will be made whole.
Yeah.
Right.
And you were talking about this a second ago. To keep it simple, a small business is not going to qualify for the health insurance plans and not have the staff to manage HR like a bigger company is going to do. Y'all provide that leverage, right? So tell a little bit about that.
Correct. That's one of the things that we're able to do is really provide the toolbox that a Fortune 500 company has to your small business.
Yeah.
So that really what they're able to do is manage the headaches of their people.
Yeah.
And focus on growing the business and moving the business
What
forward.
they're good at.
Which is why they got in business
For
typically.
Sure. We find that a lot where business owners will do well, hire somebody, do a little bit better, hire somebody, do a little bit better, and then soon they have 3 or 4 employees and they're spending as much time managing as doing the job. But they get frustrated, they hit a ceiling, and they don't realize that they were really good at doing the work, but they weren't necessarily good at running a business and all those things. It takes the stages and phases of your business, and at certain points you leverage out things, and it's the cost of doing business.
Right.
You know, as lawyers, we tell people sometimes we're the cost of doing business, and it's worth it. We can help you solve more problems and prevent them instead of having to always be reactive. So it's important to know that there's resources like you guys out there. But you mentioned a second ago, I asked you who your ideal client was, and you said, I wish I knew. But you made a very good point, and I think it's important to make. So tell me what you said when I said that.
So our ideal client is a mindset of the business owner who values their employees and wants to take care of their employees and knows that the growth and the scale of their business is going to be determined by their employees, right? And so there's a lot of social media out there, right? There's Glassdoor where people go to complain about their jobs, right? There's Yelp, there's Google, there's all those places, and when you go out to those sites, you as the business owner can see that and respond to it, right? What you can't respond to is at the LSU tailgate or the Tulane tailgate when people say, how's work? And you go, oh my God, my job sucks, right? And they rattle off the things about their boss that they just hate, right? And so a lot of businesses take for granted their employees. And so by bringing in a PEO or certified PEO, we're able to bring you a much better benefits package. We're able to help you manage your employees, and we can do things, quite frankly, that your competitors just cannot do or will not do, right? And so I can rattle off some other examples, but just moving to more of the business side of it, we're going to offset some of the risk that is involved with owning a business, right? So you're going to be added to our workers' compensation policy. Okay, so why is that important, right? So I have no idea how many employees we have on our workers' comp policy. It's enormous, right? And so if somebody gets hurt on the job, it could impact your workers' compensation rating, right? And it's called an EMR, but I won't get too technical. So if you have an EMR over 1.0, right, you are not going to be able to get to do business with any of the oil companies or any of them, because that means you're a very risky business. Whereas you can
manage that stuff too.
Absolutely. So you can now switch over to Insperity, become one of our clients, And when you're on workers' comp, your EMR is 0.67, 0.68, something like that. All of a sudden, it opens up those doors again.
Wow, okay,
for
very
you
cool.
to get back in there,
Very
right? So
cool.
that's an example.
Cool.
I can give you a more recent example is I have a client in Baton Rouge. He is former military, and that's important in the story because he is direct and he is blunt.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that.
And he has very unreasonable expectations for his employees.
Yeah.
Okay? He expects them to show up on time, and he will not allow them to do social media while they're at work. Right? And so
I think half my staff would quit.
So he had a young employee who took exception to that and filed an EEOC complaint, right? He is being mistreated at work, filed the complaint. Now, you and I can sit here and look at each other and go, it's a frivolous case.
Yeah.
It's not going to go anywhere, right? But the business owner still has to defend
You can
that.
deal with it. Yeah, you still have to
right?
deal with it.
Has to pay somebody like you.
And so attorneys, I don't know what your hourly rate is, but our attorneys are anywhere from $250 to $1,500 an hour, or maybe even more, depending on the firm that you size.
$1,500 an hour. All right, I'm gonna write that down back in my pocket. I'm gonna say that for later.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, if you need them, I can give you the attorneys who charge that.
Yeah.
But so we defend it, right? So our attorneys defend that.
Very cool.
Our attorneys write the response, and 92% of the time, right,
They go
we
away.
resolve those for zero.
Yeah.
Right. They go away, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're right and you're doing it the right way, right, it's frivolous.
Yeah.
Now, somebody listening might say, well, what about the other 6 or 7%, right? I can't make you not guilty, right? I can help defend it, right?
That's Hall of Fame batting average right there. 93% of the time.
Exactly. And the average settlement with Insperity is less than $10,000, right? So
That won't break
do you
the
want to
bank
pay
usually.
Do you want to pay an attorney $20,000 to do 10 hours of work?
Yeah.
Or do you want to make this go away and with a settlement for less than 10?
Yeah.
And move on with your life and
That's great.
focus on what you got into business to do.
Sure.
Right? You didn't get into business to fight EEOC complaints. You probably never had a dream of writing a performance review, right?
Yeah.
We can help you with all of those things.
Yes.
Right?
Very cool. So as we wrap it up, it's important to us that we talk about what this community means to you guys. Because to our firm, this is where we spend our time. This is where we spend our resources. This is where our employees sleep. It's where they live. And y'all said y'all are a giant company with a local presence. So what does St. Tammany Parish mean to you, and what does a giant company with a local presence mean?
Yes, so I can speak to that very comfortably because I grew up here in St. Tammany Parish, right here in Slidell, and have returned to the area, raising my kids now. But more importantly, I think having the ability to tap in to not only the assets of a Fortune 500 company, but the ability, the tools, the people that we have to bring them into the small local community and help. Our CEO very simply says we're in business to help businesses prosper so communities can succeed.
Yeah.
And if we have that mentality from the top all the way down, that's why we want the local presence.
Yeah.
So for me, it's both personal, but also our company backs it 100%.
And so when we talk about the national presence, right, we're right here in St. Tammany. You may wish to expand your business into Mississippi, right? You may wish to expand your business into Alabama, right? And you don't have any exposure to those markets. We do, right? And so not only can we help advise you on what are the laws and getting people up and running, you can hire somebody in any state in this country and we can have them onboarded within 24 to 48 hours, right? So you have an employee, you're a law firm, you want to hire the best law clerk is in, Idaho, right? We can have them up and running and you can have a virtual employee ready to go within 24, 48 hours, right? But we can also tell you, hey, as you're looking to expand, right, you might want to avoid this county, right? This county is very anti-business, right? You might want to go to this county, which is more pro-business, and you're not going to be able to get that from a local provider who doesn't have the exposure and doesn't have the experience to do that.
Very cool. Well, very cool. Well, thanks for coming on and talking to us today, guys. Y'all did great.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.